Hey everybody, and welcome back to another edition of Swoop Podcast. It's your guest for the night, Dante Fantuzi, and I'm here with my partner,
Josh Sanchez.
And for tonight's show, we're gonna have a couple interesting topics, well, a few of them, and also conduct a phone interview. I'm not gonna say who, because
It's a surprise.
It's a surprise. If you watch college basketball and are familiar with the local area for college basketball and the Big Five in Philly, which is Temple, St. Joe's, LaSalle, Drexel,
Villanova, right?
and Nova, yes. One player out of those five schools, I know him very well. I went to high school with him. Will be on the phone with us tonight conducting a live interview. And our other topics that we are going to hit are whether NBA players should be getting rest during the season.
Ezekiel Elliott's off the field issues.
And should the NFL continue Thursday night football games? So those are what we're going to hit. And we are live here with St. Joe's University starting point guard Lamarr Kimble. Fresh, can you just give a quick shout out to the fans real quick?
Yeah, how y'all doing out there, man? Go St. Joe's, the Hawk can never die.
all right. So, just a quick history. I went to high school with Fresh at St. John Newman and Maria Goretti High School. He's a good friend, one of the closest people that I was really cool with and close with when I was at Newman. What were you, like a 4-star recruit coming out of high school?
Yeah, around there for.
Yeah, around there. And he took his talents to St. Joe's freshman year. He was a really big key to this this
Success.
Jesus, look at that. No, I'm about to say the Hawks, but I'm so used to saying the Saints from high school that it just comes out naturally. But he definitely made a lot of noise last year when they were in the NCAA tournament for March Madness. If you want, go check out the highlights. His name is Lamarr Kimble. And just to start off with the first question, what is the biggest transition you had to make from high school to college?
Definitely the speed of the game. When you get to college, all 5 players on the court, they're very intelligent out there. They have speed, they have strength. So, you have to adjust to that coming in as a freshman. And, it took me a while to adjust to that. When I started, I was able to, contribute more for the team.
Mm-hmm. Do you feel like, are you satisfied with your role with the team?
Yeah, I'm satisfied for the most part. Definitely always want to do more. Every game I go out there, I wish I'd do more than what I did. So even if I had a good game, every game I definitely like my role for the team, but definitely want to contribute in more ways.
Yeah, Lamarr, I have a quick question real quick. I just want to know, who was your toughest matchup to face in Division 1 right now, as of right now?
My toughest matchup is there's a lot of good players out there. Defensive wise, it's a nice point guard over there on UMass named Pickens. He's a real nasty defender. Offensive wise, the most talented person was probably Dylan Brooks. He's really a good talented person out there. We played him last year in the tournament.
That's the kid from Baylor, right? Or Oregon?
Oregon.
Yeah,
Oregon.
Yeah, they just beat Rhode Island. I thought Rhode Island was gonna pull the upset.
Mm-hmm.
I had Rhode Island in my Sweet 16, and I was like, man, at the end.
So
yeah, he beat the 10 team.
So Fresh, I got a question for you. Your nickname, well, obviously I just called you by your nickname, but your nickname, Lamarr, well, your whole name is Lamarr Kimble, but the nickname Fresh, where did that come into terms, and where did you actually get that nickname from?
The nickname Fresh, it was just a childhood nickname. I got it kind of after my father. Then me growing up, younger after him, and a lot of people, kind of, wanted to give me that name.
So your dad's nickname is Fresh too?
Yeah, his nickname when he was younger, they called him Fresh, and then it just, moved on to me. So they don't really call him Fresh no more.
No. All right. Before I let you go, I wanna know your opinion on this. Are you okay with the NBA resting players throughout the course of the season?
I think, during the course of the NBA season, I think it's definitely a lot of injuries that players get.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of the day, the team is supposed to win, and they want to make it to the championship. So, you know, I mean, wrestling guys sometimes, you know, it's kind of good. You know, then there's a downfall, you know. But I mean, I can understand the business side of it. You know, a lot of, you know, it's a lot of money that goes into the game, you know, and things like that. So, I mean, it can go both ways.
Mm-hmm. And I just have like a quick question before we end it. If there's any advice you can give to like younger athletes out there, younger kids out there, what advice would that be?
Man, just to always stay humble, you know, and stay grounded and really work. You know, it's never going to be easy. I mean, the path to success, you know, there's so many obstacles. You know, the path to failure is so easy. You know, you can take that path, you know, you go far in a day, but to be successful, you know, it's a lot of bumps and grinds you have to go through. So, you know, everybody's got to say tunnel vision to, you know, to the young people out there. You know, just stay, you know, level-headed. You know, I think good things will happen if you're a good person.
And do you have a favorite NBA team?
Favorite NBA team right now is OKC. You know,
OKC. Do you think Russell Westbrook will win MVP?
He should win MVP. You know how they go by, you know, team. But you know, he's building he's carrying a team. You know that, you know, was supposed to be nothing this year. You know, after the trade. So, I mean, I think that he should win MVP. But you know, I guess they'll probably go with the player who team is doing better record wise.
Yeah.
Mm. So before I really let you go, this has been one of the most interesting topics around basketball, and really, you know, just around the sports world. I just want to know your opinion on what LeVar Ball said about LeBron James and his kid.
I mean, about that situation, you know, I don't think that, you know, you should really put, like, you know, kids' names in situations like that. I guess he was, you know, LeVar Ball was trying to, you know, prove a point by using that. But I guess if you already had beef, I don't think you should put his kids' names in there. But, you know, I understand LeBron, you know, responding to it because he's a father. So, I mean, all that type of stuff, you know, that takes away from the game and things like that. You know, it shouldn't even be, you know, really talked about.
Mm-hmm. And I just want to add like a quick little point. I know that right now you're a sophomore right now at St. Joe's. Are you going to plan on staying all 4 years at St. Joe's? And
yeah, my fault. I didn't mean to cut you off.
Nah, you're good. You got it.
And yeah, I mean, I'm definitely looking forward to, you know, whatever happens in my career. I mean, I'm gonna take every step at a time. Right now, I'm recovering right now, and I'm getting ready for next year. You know, and I don't really look at, you know, too much how long I'm staying or anything like that. I look at more as, you know, how much my team could win, and I want to, you know, win championships. So the goal of next year is to win the A-10 championship, you know, and I'll move on from there.
Well, you pretty much heard it there
live.
You
pretty much heard it there live. Thank you again for conducting this on-the-phone interview. Man, I'm excited. I don't know about you, Dante.
Yeah, definitely. A big thank you, Lamarr. I really appreciate you coming on the show and conducting this live interview with us. And after we're done, I'm gonna send it to you. And so you're gonna have to show this to Martelli.
and again, I wish you the best of luck next season and the rest of your basketball career. Hopefully, we'll be talking about you in the NBA someday.
All right, thank you. I appreciate that. Thanks for having me on here.
All right, bro. Tell Martelli I said what's up too.
All right, will do.
All right, bro. Have one.
All right.
So we want to give a big shout out again to Lamarr Kimble for the interview. It was a really good interview, I believe.
Huge shout out.
Huge shout out. And speaking of New Ready, well, while we were conducting the interview, speaking of New Ready, they are up 24-9 against Lincoln Park, and the state champion in the 3A Boys State Championship game. Big kudos to them.
Looks like you went to the right school, Dante.
Hopefully they could bring it home and definitely bring home the 4th straight, as I'm repping my 3 state championship. my 3-peat championship shirt. The 3-peat from last season when we won. Starting with point guard Quade Green, who committed to Kentucky.
Oh snap, Quade Green.
And yes, and Damir Cosby Roundtree, who has committed to Villanova. Definitely going to Nova games next season for support my boys.
I'll come with you, bro.
Definitely. So
some tickets.
So just to transition on, we're gonna keep it basketball topic. We're gonna give our thoughts and our opinions on whether the NBA on whether teams should rest their superstar players.
And let me just give you like a little background knowledge to this topic. Like recently, like we've seen with primetime games, star athletes being sat out, like the Warriors versus the Spurs earlier this month, where it was a big televised game. It was on ESPN. Everyone was talking about the hype because if the Spurs would have beaten the Warriors, which they ended up doing, the Spurs would have been a half a game ahead of the Warriors for the first place in the Western Conference. But the Warriors sat out Clay, Steph, Draymond Green, and Andre Iguodala, whereas the Spurs, Kawhi Leonard was injured, so I will give the Spurs a pass on that one. But the Warriors are pretty much coming into the game saying it's okay, you can take the 1 seed. And it just ruins views. And another game that just happened last week, the big three of the Cavs, Love, Kyrie, and LeBron, sat out during the Clippers game. Again, it was on ESPN, a nationally televised game. And LeBron said, quote, after the game, it says, it's the coach's job, is my fault. The main job for a coach, my fault, is to compete for a championship, not a game. And LeBron took a big hit in criticism, and even to the point where Adam Silver spoke. And his quote was, on the issue, it's in my fault by word, an extremely significant issue for our league. And he said that teams will face significant penalties if they do not follow the league rules for reporting player injuries and illness. He's going to have a live press conference April 3rd conducting about this issue. So I think that the change in the NBA is going to happen next season probably. Because, again, a lot of fans pay a lot of money to come to these games, and they see star athletes sitting out. Like, the whole game, the fans are cheering for LeBron in an L.A. Clippers stadium, and LeBron was just sitting there eating cookies and goofing off with the fans when all the everyone wanted to see him on the court. Everyone wanted to see him play. So that's just a little background knowledge on the topic. I did a little research before I came into the studio today. Dante, what do you think about this issue?
I definitely never seen a problem with it, resting superstar players. I mean, I see why are we making it a problem now when this has been going on for years? We're talking 90s, early 2000s to now. I really never seen a problem with it. Yes, for your point of view, I can definitely see why you probably don't agree with it from a fan's point of view.
I was just giving background. I agree with the player rest.
Okay.
I'm just going to add on to your point.
Okay, well, I could definitely see why like from a fan perspective, going to the game, we want to see, LeBron play with Kyrie and Kevin Love. But would you rather see them play now? And the point I'm about to make may seem a little confusing, or some people may criticize me on it. But every night a player goes out, they have a risk of injury.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, for all we know, LeBron James, God forbid, may go out and go up for a layup or something, get hit, boom, he's hit with a concussion. That's involving that's every night something like that can happen. But I see as though, would you rather have your player? How can I best word this? Would you rather see your backups play now to rest your starters?
Pretty much give your backups experience.
No. Not even experience.
Just like game reps.
To see them play and give your superstar players rest for the playoffs. Or would you rather have them risk another game of injury?
Yeah, like we saw one of the NBA Finals where Kyrie and Love were both out in the playoffs, and LeBron had to do it all by himself.
And, I mean, for instance, J.R. Smith. J.R. Smith got hurt early in the season. Now we really don't know if he would have never got injured, what could have happened, or so on and forth. But I see it as though, and especially for LeBron James and the way the minutes that he's playing every game,
he's leading the league in minutes right now.
I think it's 46 minutes a game he plays.
No, it's 36.
36, pardon me.
It's still a lot.
Yeah, it's still a lot of minutes. Would you rather...
48 minutes in a game.
Yeah, something like that. I would rather see my superstar players get rest, heal up, than go out there and put their body on the line and have a risk of injury. Then our chances for the playoffs. I would rather go down a spot in the seeding. I mean, except for if you're like 6 to 8, I wouldn't have that. But if you're 1 to 5, I'd rather go down in the seeding than really. I would rather go down in the seeding due to resting my players than go down in the seedings due to my player getting hurt.
Now, I agree with you on that one. I just think there needs to be a suggestion for nationally televised games because companies put a lot of money, they pay a lot of money to televise these nationally televised games. I think for players' rest, the coach, or there's got to be some form of suggestion or some form of like notice before the game airs that, hey, my player, I'm resting these certain guys this game, so don't make this a national televised game. Do another team that has all their players. Because companies are losing a lot of money on that. Like, NBA is more than just a game. It's also a business side, too.
Yeah, there definitely is a business side.
I agree. The players, they do need a rest. It's 82 games. It's a long season. I mean, if you really need the rest, then you take the rest. That's that's just how the league's been lately, and that's how and that's just how it is. But there has to be some form of suggestion in the future for nationally televised games because everyone gets excited for these nationally televised games, and you just sit up there and you see everyone resting, which makes sense because you want your player to be healthy for the playoffs.
Yeah, which is I can agree. You know, I would definitely give like a heads up before that nationally televised game. Like the most recent one I believe we seen was the Warriors and Spurs on ESPN. I believe the game was televised on. Yeah, and no superstar played.
Yeah, none.
So
that's the game I talked about.
Yeah, and it was a game like, why would you nationally televise this game if we're not gonna watch the players we want to watch?
Yeah, it makes the companies look dumb, and they also lose money in the process because you see all these commercials about it. They're like Saturday night prime time, and they get everyone hyped up for the game.
Commercials,
and then they don't even play. Yeah, so there has to be some form of suggestion by the league, some form of change on that side, and let the fans know ahead of time so they know that they're gonna buy a game where the players are gonna rest. That's just pretty much what I have to say about it.
I mean, we pretty much agree on the same
agree
thing.
on that one.
I don't mind it because I'd rather have my player. I'd rather have my team well prepared for the playoffs than anything else. I mean, we all know the Cavaliers are going to make it to the playoffs. We all know the Spurs and the Warriors are going to make it to the playoffs. So if you're a fan of any of these teams and you feel some type of way about superstar resting, you shouldn't because you're already going to the playoffs. Yeah. You're already confirmed there. So the whole issue about it, I don't see why. But then again, I could see why. But then again, wouldn't you want to have a healthy Steph Curry and a healthy Klay Thompson, Draymond Green,
and we've seen
in the playoffs?
Yeah, and we've seen playoff teams get injured in the playoffs. Like just last year with the Clippers, Chris Paul and Blake Griffin go out in the series, and instead of the series living up to the hype, like the Clippers are probably going to play the Warriors because I'm not even gonna lie, the Clippers were the better team in that series than the Trailblazers. But your two best players go out, and now you have Austin Rivers, who was a great backup point guard.
I don't think he's a great backup point guard.
Well, he's decent.
He's decent.
He gets the job done. Yeah. And now you have to rely on him to be one of your major scorers, him and Crawford. And they ended up losing the series. So I'd rather have my players sit and rest now so they don't get hurt in the playoffs.
I totally agree with that. Totally do.
Now, do you want to move on to our next topic?
Definitely. Let's hit it.
You want me give you a little? I'll give another little intro about. You want to talk about Ezekiel Elliott now, or do you want to talk about Thursday Night Football?
Let's hit the Ezekiel Elliott topic first. So you want me to do it? All right. You got it. All right. So there is a video surfacing around the internet, reported by TMZ and shot by TMZ, that we've seen Ezekiel Elliott at a St. Patty's Day parade.
Yes.
Drinking, hanging out with people, having fun, nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that.
But being the immature character he is, he pulled down the shirt to a woman's top, and her breasts were flashed out, and everybody seen it. And it's something that
It raised some question marks because
it definitely raised question marks.
He is, as of right now, he's not on trial by the law.
No, he's not on trial.
But the NFL is having a domestic violence investigation on him.
No, the case is still open.
Yeah, the case is still open, and the NFL is looking into it. And I mean, I know, and the girl later said that she was fine with it, but had she has said that she was not fine with it and not okay with it, Ezekiel Elliott would have had some form of punishment, I believe. And
To be honest with you, though, Jack, I'm not trying to cut you off or anything like that.
Good.
But when I get my point, I'm gonna hop on her case too.
Yeah.
Because why would you be okay with a man pulling down your shirt for the whole world to see your breast?
Yeah, and the video, she like denied him the first couple times. Like it's like little bit, like little gestures.
Yeah, like little like shrugs off, so she can get off, so he can get off of her. But I'm just gonna let you finish because whenever you're done, I'm gonna hit my point topic.
And Ezekiel Elliott has had off the field issues at Ohio State too, and he is a superstar talent. He was all pro running back. He is a beast, and I said the Eagles should have drafted him last year. I mean I'm fine with Wentz.
Carson or Zeke?
Yeah, I know. Both superstar players, but it's not looking good on his case because, he doesn't realize that he is a superstar talent. Everywhere he goes, there's going to be eyes looking at you, like, oh, that's Ezekiel Elliott. You're no longer that college running back anymore. You're now in the National Football League. You have policies and rules you have to follow, and you also are a superstar in the NFL. So more people are going to look at you. And seeing you on live video pull down a girl's shirt, even though she said she was fine with it, but in the video it clearly showed that she shrugged him off a couple times. And also you're an illegal investigation for domestic violence. You should have no, I'm trying to word it. You should not put yourself in that situation to make people think he might actually abuse this woman. He's intoxicated and he's under the influence, but at the same time, I heard this saying, drunk actions are sober thoughts. So if he's doing this while he's drunk, he's thinking about it when he's sober. So I just think this puts more on his back. I mean, the Cowboys had an issue with Dez Bryant early in his career, and Jerry Jones hired someone to supervise him, 24-hour supervision. I think he's going to have to do that with Ezekiel Elliott because he is a great, talented player. But as we see, he's on trial as we speak. The NFL is investigating him, and this incident with the girl just leads to raises some eyebrows. That's pretty much what I have to say.
So, agreement with you, Josh. Ezekiel Elliott was acting very immature. The decision he chose to make is an idiotic decision, something very inappropriate to do, and you're a young adult. So act like a young adult, okay? This is the same Ezekiel Elliott that we all seen complain the day after they lost to the Packers about his case, that it should be closed, and so on. Ever since the case was open, there was no evidence found, no nothing. Cool. Now we all have this vision. Ezekiel Elliott didn't do what his ex-girlfriend said.
Yes.
Or a girlfriend or ex-girlfriend. I don't know which one she is. So, definitely after this incident, it raises eyebrows, like you said, because if you can do this in the public eye, what about when what are you doing when those doors are closed? Are you kidding me? Like, if you can do that with the public eye, but what are you doing behind closed doors?
Yeah, that
definitely tends to raise questions. And now the thoughts that were first appeared after the evidence, after there was no evidence to your case, now definitely whoever took that case definitely is might reopen that case. I mean, it's already open.
Yeah, it's already.
But now they're gonna look more into it. This is your third off the field incident since coming into the NFL. This is the third one. You had one with the domestic violence case. This one, and the one incident he had was when they were in Colorado, and he went to obviously in Colorado weed is illegal there. So you went to a store, legal. Pardon me. You went to the store, a weed store supposedly, and you know how the NFL is about that.
Yeah, and also what puts more pressure on him is he's the star. He's a star player, even though I hate saying this, for America's team, the Dallas Cowboys.
And you took exactly what I was about to say.
Yeah. So you have even more pressure on you now as the running back for the Cowboys. I hate saying that.
I don't think that there's pressure on him. There's just more eyes on him.
Yeah, that's what I meant by pressure.
There's more eyes, more cameras, more everything is going to be on you. Not only that you're a superstar talent, because I definitely think that if he was to play for any other team, all those cameras and everything else would be on him. But you play for America's team, like you said.
Yeah.
So, and whoever's a football fan or a sports fan and know about the Cowboys, those cameras, those eyes, whatever it is, are going to be on you 24/7.
Yeah.
Okay. There is no space. Okay. Now I'm gonna talk about this female who said it was okay that she was fine with it. No, being a female, okay. When we hit social media, when we look at social media, right? What is the first thing that we see about girls, considering guys? They're dogs, they're cheaters, this, that, and the third. Well, why would a man want to? Okay, how can I best word this? Why are you considering this to a man, right? You're telling a man he's a cheater, a dog, whatever he is. But you're in the public's eye with Ezekiel Elliott, allowing him to do these things. Yes, you shrugged him off maybe twice. But after he did it, you laugh about it, joke about it, and then say it's okay. You should be ashamed of yourself.
Yeah.
Okay? Josh, if you had a daughter, would you want your daughter out in the public with another man and he shows her boob?
No.
And she says it's okay?
No, I would not. I would be furious if I was a dad.
Okay. So,
I want to see.
And she says it's okay. No, you should be ashamed of yourself. Women,
if
you're a woman and you want to be treated with respect, show your respect. Show your morals if you have morals. Don't say it's okay for a man to do this when in all regard it's not okay. I'll be damned if my daughter was out in public and somebody did that to her and she says it's okay. No, it's not okay.
It's not.
Okay? And this is for every female who's on social media talking all this trash about guys not respecting you. Well, why don't you respect yourself first and then expect respect from another man? Because if a man sees that you're just worth, I'm not going to say it on air, but if a man sees that all you're worth is just something useful and just wants to use you for something, then of course he's going to be labeled a dog, whatever he is, dog, cheater, a liar, whatever you want to label him under, because that's all he sees you for. Why? Because you don't have any respect for yourself. I'm not saying that this young lady doesn't have any respect for herself, but what you showed, the action that you showed, and the comment that you gave was really pointing towards you don't have any respect for yourself.
Yeah.
Okay? That's where my problem is. Have some respect for yourself. Okay? And Ezekiel Elliott, I'm going to talk about him one more time. You're 20. How old is Ezekiel Elliott?
He's I think he's 21, I believe.
21, 22.
He's 22,
okay.
22.
We're going to label it like this. You're older than 18. It's time to put the big boy pants on. Put the big boy pants on. Act like an adult. You're a superstar running back for the Dallas Cowboys. So now you definitely have to be an adult because of the situation that you're in. And you're always going to be in the public's eye. So with this case that's already open, and it does come back that there's evidence found, and you're going to go to jail, you're going to jail, prison, not juvie, not juvenile detention with little kids. You're going to jail. A
big boys.
judge is not gonna consider you as, well, he's 21, but he acts like a child, so we're gonna send him to juvie. No, that's not happening. You're going to jail with people who have killed other people, robbed other people, done some of the worst things in this world that this world can actually think of. So it's time to put the big boy pants on. Because if you keep going the direction you're going and painting that image on you that you don't want to paint on you, and you commit another crime, or if that case comes back something negative, you're gonna end up in that cell with Thumb, pardon for my language, being their bitch. You're gonna be their bitch.
Oh my God.
Okay. And no, I'm not editing this out, because you're definitely gonna be somebody's bitch if you go to jail. And before you even go to jail, they already know what you're going to jail for. Those inmates already know. And they don't play. And I know a lot of inmates that don't play when it comes to females. Okay? So, it's like I said again, it's time to put the big boy pants on. Definitely time to do it. Because one more incident, and if that case comes out negative, you're going with those guys. Yep. I don't want to go with those guys if I'm you. I don't want to do that. You think you're big, bad, and strong? You got guys 3 times your size. So, good luck in that. Good luck with that. So, pardon me after my little rant going on. Where were we going to hit, bro? I honestly forgot.
Thursday night football.
Thursday night football. We're going to stick with the football topics.
Yeah, to wrap up our topics for today.
Yes.
Thursday night football has been a huge talked about topic for the longest time now. Last year, they tried to do something different with Thursday Night Football. Mm-hmm. They aired it instead of on NFL Network. It was also on NBC. Mm-hmm. So they were trying to gain more viewership, but the games still aren't generating enough views. And a lot of the players do not like it because of player safety. Because football is such a physical and dynamic game. Like, it wears you out after a game. Mm-hmm. That playing on a short week gives you increase in injury, and like, for example, and also playing on a shorter week as well, the week after. Mm-hmm. So it's a highly talked about topic, and me personally, I think the NFL should get rid of the Thursday night football, only because you want to have your players happy in the game, as well as the fans as well, and unless you are one of those 2 teams playing on Thursday night, you're not really going to watch the games. And, like, me personally, I don't even watch any Thursday night football games unless the only time I watched Thursday night football was the Eagles versus the Giants Thursday night football game. That was pretty much the only Thursday night I saw. And then Thanksgiving, of course, because it's Thanksgiving.
Now, are you done? Or
Yeah, for the most part, that's pretty much like my
if you have anything else to say, you can say it.
No, I'm good. I want to hear you first. I want to hear you.
I definitely think Thursday night football should be cut. No more Thursday night football. 2 reasons why. One, it's a big injury risk. You play Sunday, your body's beat up Monday, Tuesday. Wednesday you start to feel better. Thursday you got to go play again. Just as you're starting to feel better. Yeah. Just as your body's starting to recuperate and, start to heal and get back to 100%. The day after, you have to go out and play another football game. So 1, you're not prepared physically. 2, you're not prepared mentally. 3, your team isn't prepared at all, right along with you. Okay? Another thing is, Thursday night games have been so horrible over the course of the season. I don't even watch them. I didn't even watch that Eagles and Giants game. No, lying. I watched the fourth quarter. I watched the fourth quarter because it was a close game. But besides that, I don't watch Thursday night football. Even if I play fantasy football, I'm still not watching the game. I just check the stats. But really, though, the games have been horrible, for the most part. 2, the cause of injury and the injury risk is going so much up higher that it's unbearable to see. Because you can definitely take a hit Sunday. Thursday, you're starting to feel better. I just said, you're starting to feel better over the course of the days.
It takes a couple days.
But you're still hurting. So you're not going to be prepared to play that game. You're not. And then the NFL wonders, and then, I mean, not only the NFL, but other people wonder why the NFL rating is going so down.
Yeah, and Roger Goodell, this is just putting a more case on him.
And Roger Goodell, I hate him.
Because, look, you notice from the NBA, people respect Adam Silver. Like, when he said that comment, people understand where he's coming from. Whenever I hear Roger Goodell talk, it just makes me even more mad. The way how he treated the Patriots situation, the way how he doesn't, like, he respects the players, but he's not fair.
He's not consistent.
He's not consistent, yeah. And because of his inconsistency, the NFL is losing viewership. A lot of people are unhappy with him as our commissioner.
So, I'm unhappy with him as a commissioner too.
Yes.
You change the league literally every year. We can't have a good, consistent football season regarding the rules because you want to change them every year. So, the NFL's going from National Football League to the No Fun League, if you really think about it. Okay? So, by what I mean when I say No Fun League, I'm sorry, I don't mean to cut you off, is that you have players who score touchdowns. Week 1, Antonio Brown scored a touchdown. You started celebrating.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, he started twerking. I don't really agree with him twerking, but you scored a touchdown, so you're allowed to celebrate. They throw a flag on a play. Why can't the team celebrate? Why can't this player celebrate it? Why? I don't see why. I mean, there's no more fun. So basically, what I guess Roger Goodell wants us to do is score a touchdown, wave to the fans, and walk back to the bench. We should be happy you scored a touchdown. You got your team on the board with points. Yeah. Why can't I celebrate? And, pardon me, I knew it was only going to get worse once they took out the whole dunking over the field goal post or even laying the ball up over the field goal post. Like, what's wrong with it? How is it affecting the game? I can understand if you're going to throw a penalty for affecting the game or doing something like, something that's going to change the game. But once you score a touchdown, the play's dead. Everything is dead after that. What's wrong with a celebration? You're just taking the fun out the game. And it even scares me when I see, any Eagles score, I'm scared they're going to celebrate and it's going to cause a penalty. It's going to add on, 15 yards to the kick or something like that, whatever the rule is. I mean, the players can't have any fun.
Yeah, and what else I don't like about it, I'm just going to say the last thing I'm going to say. I don't like how he is inconsistent with fining people too. Like you suspend Brady 4 games for deflating balls. The season after it happened, no, not the season after, 2 seasons after it happened pretty much. Because this year it happened. He played all last season, the 2015 season, happened 2014 season. Then he gets suspended to 2016 season. With the Ray Rice situation, he should have been banned from the NFL from the start. What he did was he let Ray Rice play a preseason, then he suspended him 2 games, then he bans him from the NFL. So you let this man train all season. He's like, all right, I know I'm punished, and he knows he's punished for what he did. He should have just banned him from the start. But no, he led on to this big thing. We seen hits on Jordan Matthews this year, Darren Sproles. Those players only got fined. They got fined $25,000, but they appealed it. They only got fined $5,000 for it. But we see other hits where they get fined and they appeal and they don't win it. It's inconsistencies like that I don't really like.
One thing you can't exclude out the situation is you suspended Brady 4 games for deflating the balls. Okay? Whether we know it's true or not, we don't know. Nobody knows the truth except for Brady and the ball. But the ball can't talk.
The ball can't talk.
Okay? You suspend him 4 games. Okay? Keep this in mind. You suspended Josh Gordon for smoking weed for 4 games. He does it again. 10 games. Does it again. Suspended the whole season. Now you don't want to reinstate the player because of his personal issues. His personal issues aren't affecting the game. It's not. because you want to smoke a little bit of weed. Same thing for Le'Veon Bell, and LeGarrette Blount, and all the other players that smoke weed and got suspended. Why are you suspending these players? What they're doing isn't affecting the game. It's affecting their body, but that's a personal issue. You let that happen to them. You don't let that, just because you smoke a little bit of weed, okay? And now I'm not gonna. I was gonna say something, but I'm not gonna say it. Supposedly, medical marijuana heals the body. It helps the body out. From what I hear, I don't know. I'm not a doctor or anything like that.
Yeah.
What's wrong with these players trying to heal their body? I could understand if a player was taking, like Lane Johnson, PEDs, performance enhancing drugs, which betters the play, because that's going to definitely affect the game, because other players are following the rules, and really have to work when you have a player who just takes PEDs to get better instead of putting in all the work. I can understand that, but smoking weed, are you serious? The situation with Aldon Smith, what has he done to affect the game? Are you serious? Him and Josh Gordon went to rehab to better themselves. And you don't want to reinstate these players? They're trying to help themselves to make a living. But you don't want to help these players. Are you kidding me? That makes me think that I don't know if you heard of him, Larry Sanders?
Not really, no.
No? Okay. So 3 years ago, I mean, the situation is definitely different, because Larry Sanders, the reason why he left the NBA, and the whole thing. I mean, I'm not trying to compare the two, but I believe that if Larry Sanders, who's the center for the Cleveland Cavaliers, he played for the Milwaukee Bucks. The year after he had a breakout season, he retired from the NBA because he felt like the NBA wasn't for him. He wanted to explore different things. Cool, not a problem. There's no problem with that. Yeah. But I feel like if he was in the NFL and decided to make that choice, Roger Goodell would have said, nope, I'm not going to reinstate him. Because he's just Roger Goodell. Okay? Now, the Ray Rice situation, I can see why you would ban him from the NFL.
Yeah, you should have just done it from the start.
Because you don't put your hands on a woman.
Yes.
But there was so much evidence to that video that you, right away, like you said, you're supposed to ban him right away. You don't let the video play out and have to take criticism from everybody else and pretty much be forced to ban him from the NFL. You don't do that. There was enough evidence to show that, hey, you should be banned. Okay? Yeah. So, and the same thing with what's his name? He played for the Panthers. He got the domestic violence case. Played for the Panthers, then he signed with the Justin Hardy.
It sounds familiar. I don't really
Hardy.
know off the top of my head.
Can't remember his first name, but his last name is Hardy. Situation with him. He had the domestic violence case. His girlfriend or wife at the time, I don't know if they're still together now, she called the cops. Everything was recorded. Now, I don't think recording, I think hearing and seeing are two different things. I think there's more evidence when you see something than actually hearing something. So, I mean, words lie, but your actions don't.
Yeah.
So, I believe in his case, there's an argument. And, I mean, that was probably the only thing that I can agree with his punishment for, because it was just a recording from his wife or girlfriend to the cops. Okay? That was probably the only thing I can agree with Roger Goodell on. There's not enough evidence to ban him from the league. You really don't know what happened. But I believe there were pictures, but who knows? That could be makeup. I mean, I'm just going to things that, like, some people are going to hear this and be like, now you're just trying to set, excuse over excuse over excuse for this man. I'm not trying to do that. I'm just saying you never know what can happen. Because people in this world are really crazy enough to do that.
Yeah.
So that's probably the only case I can agree with Roger Goodell on, was the punishment you gave to, I think his name was J.J. Hardy or something like that. That was probably the only thing I can agree with Roger Goodell on. Besides that, what you did to Aldon Smith what you did to Ray Rice. I mean, not what you did to them, but the ways that you handled Alden Smith's situation, Ray Rice situation, Tom Brady's, Josh Gordon, Le'Veon Bell, LeGarrette Blount. The way you handled those situations, I can't agree with you on, and I think that Roger Goodell doesn't really know what he's doing, and in the spot that he's in, I don't think he really knows what he's doing. Like we can't watch. The NFL is not the way it was back then, and maybe even when we were kids, it's not the same. So I'm disappointed by it. Definitely, the ratings are gonna definitely be going down the way that they're heading. They need to get that man out of office. Get him out of office. Get somebody else in there, because he's just doing a horrible job.
Yes.
So that's that.
Yeah. Anything else you want to talk about, or?
I believe we're ready to wrap this up.
Yeah, and last point, Puerto Rico lost a tough one last night.
Lost to the U.S. They were down 7-0 in the third inning, I think. Third inning, they were down 7-0.
Lost it's okay. 8-0. They had a great run.
I wasn't watching that game. Once I seen the score, it was 7. I'm not watching that game.
I was like, oh, no.
I'm not watching that game. Jeez. But definitely a big shout out to them, though.
Yeah, and again, thanks to
Lamarr Kimble
for the interview.
Appreciate it.
And again, follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Swoop Podcast _ Swoop. And this is Josh and Dante signing off.
Swoop.
Swoop. Swoop. Swoop.